Roman Reigns' WWE retirement, Damian Priest collapses in front of Rhea Ripley at live event. Seth Rollins matches to undergo a massive change in absence of Roman Reigns. Triple H hates LA Knight. Top name favored by Vince McMahon fired by WWE. Roman Reigns and the Bloodline's absence on WWE SmackDown draws surprising reaction from fans. Sami Zayn returns to the Bloodline. Let's jump right into it. Damian Priest collapses in front of Rhea Ripley at live event. In a hilarious visual, a WWE superstar collapsed right in front of Rhea Ripley at a live event. Cody Rhodes took on Damian Priest in a singles match at tonight's WWE live event in Ottawa. Rhodes was victorious over the Money in the Bank holder when all was said and done. After the match, Rhea Ripley offered Priest some help as he didn't look like he could head backstage on his own. A confident Priest refused Ripley's help, only to collapse to the floor seconds later. Ripley pulled him up and then helped him backstage. It looks like Priest's days as a member of the Judgment Day are numbered. As per a report from Dave Meltzer of War, Priest could exit the stable somewhere down the line. Damian Priest joined the Judgment Day last year and has been an integral part of the faction for more than a year now. The Judgment Day is one of the most dominant factions in modern WWE. Priest and Rhea Ripley are incredibly close in real life, and she certainly won't be thrilled with this report. Drop your reactions to Priest and Ripley's hilarious exchange from the Ottawa live event in the comments section below. Seth Rollins matches to undergo a massive change in absence of Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins is the WWE World Heavyweight Championship and works on WWE Raw. The Visionary is currently involved in a feud with Shinsuke Nakamura, and on the recent edition of the Red Brand, Rollins accepted his challenge. However, for those unaware, Seth Rollins became the inaugural World Heavyweight Champion by defeating AJ Styles at Crown Jewel in 2023. Since then, Rollins has defended his title on various occasions, including premium live events, house shows, and weekly shows. Despite this, it's unfortunate that the Visionary hasn't defended his championship in the main event of a premium live event. However, this situation may finally change due to the absence of the Bloodline and Roman Reigns. The Tribal Chief only participated in the main events of the recent PLEs where he wrestled. Since Roman Reigns isn't advertised for upcoming PLEs, there seems to be a strong chance that Rollins will finally get an opportunity to be part of the main event. It's important to note that the match between Finn Balor and Seth Rollins at SummerSlam was part of the triple main event. However, it doesn't count as a main event match since the match did not conclude the show. Moreover, the Visionary has already delivered highly anticipated clashes and proved himself as a defending champion. It will be interesting to see what unfolds next as Rollins continues to be a workhorse for the Red Brand. As of now, the company has only announced a steel cage match between Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus for Payback 2023. As for the Visionary, he is likely to defend his World Heavyweight Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura. Despite Rollins accepting the challenge from the King of Strong Styles, the company hasn't announced the location of their showdown yet. If WWE announces the world title match before Payback, it could have a cliffhanger or an unclear ending, potentially leading to another match between the two at the upcoming premium live event. The rivalry between Nakamura and Rollins is shaping up to be a memorable feud, especially with the decision to turn Shinsuke's heel. The build for this rivalry is generating anticipation among fans for their upcoming clash. For those unaware, Payback 2023 is scheduled to take place on Saturday, September 2, 2023 at PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh. This marks the first WWE PLE in Pittsburgh in 5 years. It will be interesting to see whether Seth Rollins will finally get an opportunity to defend his championship in the main event of the show. Triple H hates LA Knight. WWE star LA Knight feels Triple H may be annoyed with him due to the overwhelming number of questions about him at press conferences. Knight is currently the focal point of WWE, and his momentum is increasing with every passing show. The megastar won the Slim Jim Battle Royal at SummerSlam 2023 and is embroiled in a feud with The Miz. A significant reason for his rise has been the raucous support from the WWE Universe. In an interview with Inside the Ropes, Knight mentioned that the game may be irritated with a number of questions about him during recent WWE press conferences. He suggested that the game probably wanted to cover some things at these conferences, but was constantly bombarded with questions about the megastar. Knight felt that it was a good thing that fans were talking about him and recognizing the work he had put in over the past few months. After Saudi Arabia, they're chanting it right in his face. In England, it's like a lot of questions were coming up about me. I almost saw his face. He was probably just like, oh my god, more questions about this guy. This is getting out of control. And I understand that. When you're sitting up there and you're doing a press conference and you're trying to get certain things across, all of a sudden, this guy keeps coming up. But that's a sign that is a true testament to the fact that whatever I'm doing, it's resonating, it's working. During the same conversation, LA Knight cleared the air about his character in WWE. Despite some criticism that he was ripping off Attitude Era stars, the 40-year-old veteran stated that his work was inspired by many of the greats. I'm 100% influenced by those guys. I'm influenced by Flair. I'm influenced by Savage. I'm influenced by Jake the Snake. I'm influenced influenced by other entities outside of wrestling. I'm influenced by music. I'm influenced by actors. So I mean, yeah, all that stuff is in there. At the end of the day, you put that all together, you get the conglomeration, you got yourself LA Knight. Knight said he even drew inspiration from characters outside the wrestling business, making his gimmick unique and propelling him to be a fan favorite. What do you think of Knight's character? Let us know in the comments section below. WWE reportedly has no plans for 34-year-old popular Raw superstar. WWE is currently making plans for Payback, and there are several stars who are not expected to be featured on the card. Despite reinventing herself to win the Money in the Bank contract and being a former women's champion, it appears that Nikki Cross may be one of these stars. Cross hasn't been seen on Raw since her loss to Shayna Baszler more than a month ago and has now been relegated to main event tapings instead. According to a report by Ringside News, Nikki Cross has been in attendance at recent WWE shows, but the creative team doesn't currently have anything for her. We were able to confirm that Nikki Cross is still at television taping. She is also not injured. The fact is that they have nothing for her right now. Cross appears to be filling slots when needed on TV until the company can find her a creative direction. Since her win over Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam, Shayna Baszler has been flying on Raw and could be on her way to a women's world title shot. One woman who was pushed aside en route to Baszler's SummerSlam match against Rousey was Nikki Cross. Cross was quickly defeated by Baszler before Rousey interrupted and set up their match. It clearly overshadowed her loss and took the attention away from Nikki, who had bravely stepped up to the former MA star. Ahead of her push towards the title, there could be a storyline for Cross to exact some revenge on Baszler in the coming weeks if the company is able to find a way to add her to creative plans. Do you think Nikki Cross should be pushed back into a feud on WWE TV? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Top name favored by Vince McMahon fired by WWE. There have been a lot of names in WWE history who were thought to become major superstars but could never reach their full potential. One such name has been added to the list. Lacey Evans left the company after her contract expired. However, she was reportedly seen as a major potential mainstream star by the company at one point. It was reported earlier that Evans would be out of the company when her contract expired. This was confirmed by Evans herself, who changed her social media handles. She removed her stage name and replaced it with her real name, Macy Estrella. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer reported that while it is unknown if Evans chose not to renew her contract, she is no longer with WWE. The company saw her as a potential major megastar. Meltzer also revealed that Vince McMahon was a huge supporter of her, and his exit could have played a role in Evans' downfall. Evans was seen as a potential huge mainstream star by WWE because of her looks and her background, growing up and at times living in tents and then being an amateur wrestler as a teenager and going into the U.S. Marines at 19, where she was part of the military police, said Meltzer. WWE's Lady Lacey Evans was being positioned to be a major star as she feuded with top names like Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. She was also involved in an angle with Ric Flair, where he managed the sassy Southern Belle during her feud with his daughter Charlotte Flair. Dave Meltzer stated that the belief is that McMahon's dwindling power backstage might have affected Evans' career. Her departure coincided with Vince McMahon losing power, and the belief was McMahon was her strongest ally, and if he was gone, she may not be used, at Meltzer. Even though Lacey did return to TV, it was with a new gimmick focusing on her military career. But the character failed to take off, and she was eventually used very less on television before being let go. Roman Reigns and the Bloodline's absence on WWE SmackDown draws surprising reaction from fans. Roman Reigns and the Bloodline did not appear on WWE SmackDown last week, making it the first time in months that none of the active superstars from the heel faction showed up on the blue brand. When asked if they were missed, fans had an interesting response. While Roman Reigns often misses the show since he started working on a reduced schedule, the Usos and Solo Sikoa regularly appear on SmackDown. However, this time Paul Heyman was the only member of the Bloodline to appear on SmackDown and was featured in a controversial interview. Roman Reigns was present on SmackDown last week, where he appeared alongside Heyman and Sikoa. His attempted conversation with Jimmy Uso was interrupted by Jey as the Bloodline members navigated the shocking betrayal at SummerSlam 2023. Jey Uso stood tall at the end of the segment after attacking Reigns and Sikoa inside the ring. He then called Jimmy Uso closer and hit him with a super kick before saying, "I quit," referring to the faction, SmackDown, and WWE. None of them featured on the blue brand last week, raising an important question. Did WWE fans miss Roman Reigns and the Bloodline on SmackDown? The question took social media by storm, and most of the fans were united in a surprising response. Most fans agreed that while strange, the Bloodline's absence did not appear as a drawback. They argued that other superstars had the chance to step into the spotlight for their respective storylines, and everyone delivered. Most importantly, fans agreed that the episode was dedicated to Edge, who reportedly competed in his last match on SmackDown. The rated R superstar picked up a hard-fought victory over Sheamus in the show's main event. He also spoke about his future after SmackDown went off the air. The WWE Hall of Famer Eric Bischoff discussed the Bloodline's current plot in the latest edition of his 83 Weeks podcast. He suggested the creative team consider Sami Zayn's return to the Bloodline storyline. Bischoff credited Zayn for being the glue that held the group together when he was the honorary Uso. Bischoff insisted that Jey Uso has reasons to orchestrate Sami Zayn's return to the Bloodline saga. He said the two superstars share history and Zayn could be the catalyst to bring out the best in Jey, motivating the former right-hand man to go after Roman Reigns again. Roman Reigns spotted in his tour bus. Roman Reigns currently portrays a villainous character on WWE television. The Tribal Chief embraced this antagonistic role upon his return to the company at SummerSlam 2020. He's also amid a historic championship reign as the undisputed Universal Champion, having held the WWE title for over 500 days. The Bloodline leader consistently stays in character when interacting with fans on TV and outside the squared circle. This was once again evident in a recent video that circulated on the internet. In the footage, Roman Reigns can be seen seated in his tour bus, which appears to be a private one. Meanwhile, supporters of the Tribal Chief approached the vehicle in an attempt to meet the champion. Reigns, while in character, displayed disinterest in meeting his fans. He signaled the bus to move forward even with fans standing in front of it. The Tribal Chief seemed preoccupied and showed little concern for the people who had gathered to meet him. This occurrence isn't the first time Reigns has remained in character, even when not on television. He has displayed his heel persona during house shows and press conferences. Reigns' unmatched dedication to his character contributes to his authenticity and popularity as a WWE superstar. The Tribal Chief has seemingly taken a hiatus from WWE programming. His most recent television appearance came during the August 11, 2023 episode of SmackDown where Jey Uso attacked him and subsequently quit the company. Reports have also suggested that the undisputed Universal Champion sustained an injury during his bout against Jey at SummerSlam. Additionally, there have been rumors that Roman Reigns had plans for a vacation following this year's SummerSlam. He has not been advertised for the company's upcoming premium live events, including Payback, Fastlane, and Survivor Series 2023. This suggests that Reigns will not appear on WWE television in the coming weeks or months. Amid his absence, Roman Reigns' involvement in the Bloodline saga will likely become limited despite the tension between Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso. Reigns and Jey Uso taking a break could indicate a concise lull in the storyline's progression. Coinciding with this, WWE has announced Jimmy Uso's return for the upcoming SmackDown episode. The highly anticipated comeback of Jimmy raises questions about his role in the ongoing angle and his current equation with Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa. Sami Zayn returns to the Bloodline. A WWE Hall of Famer believes Roman Reigns and the Bloodline storyline will benefit if the creative team brings Sami Zayn back into the group. Zayn played an integral role in getting the fans hooked on the Bloodline and planted the seeds for the Roman Reigns-led faction's dramatic implosion. Although the former honorary Uso has seemingly moved on from the Bloodline, many credit him as the glue that held the group together when he was a part of the dominant faction. Eric Bischoff has given his thoughts on the Bloodline's current storyline and suggests that WWE should look to bring back Sami Zayn. He asserted that Sami could play a crucial role in firing up Jey Uso, as the creative team desperately needs someone who will do anything it takes to beat Roman Reigns. The Hall of Famer discussed the Bloodline's current state at length in the latest edition of 83 Weeks and said, "I don't know, maybe bring Sami back. Maybe Sami is the catalyst that Jey needs to find his spirit, his spine, his fire. Because you could get a fired up Jey, a confident Jey Uso, hungry Jey Uso who is not ready to back down. I'm trying to think of a parallel and a character that is easy for people to see, but I can't find it right now. I'm not saying a Stone Cold Steve Austin type of character, but give me somebody that says, fuck it, I'm not taking it anymore. I'll do whatever I have to do to beat." Bischoff further expressed that Sami Zayn is the right person for the job, and his return could bring life to the Bloodline's plot. Hence, the WWE creative team should look at potential ways to involve Zayn in the storyline moving forward. Bischoff added, "Let's watch that story and maybe that's Sami, because he has gone out of the storyline and now he's kind of forgotten about. Let Jey bring him back in and be a part of it. That would be my go-to if I was sitting in a meeting right now in Stamford and going, okay, what do we do to try this thing back to life or bring more life into it? I don't want to have a conversation about bringing Sami back into it." Sami Zayn recently reunited with his tag team partner Kevin Owens as the latter returned from his real-life injury this week. KO made a shocking appearance after WWE SmackDown went off the air and competed in a dark match. He joined forces with Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre to take on Imperium and defeated the heel faction. The trio also celebrated Edge, who seemingly competed in his last WWE match in SmackDown's main event where he defeated Sheamus. Zayn and McIntyre lifted the Rated R superstar as the emotional crowd in Toronto, Canada, cheered for the Hall of Famer. The Hall of Famer also dropped hints on his future while addressing the WWE Universe after the show, leaving wrestling fans a massive debate on social media. Roman Reigns' WWE retirement. Hall of Famer Eric Bischoff recently sent a message to the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Over the past 3 years, the Bloodline storyline has been the most popular thing in the Stanford-based company. It witnessed several twists, including Sami Zayn joining the group before betraying Roman Reigns, the Usos turning on their cousin, and Jimmy Uso turning on his twin brother Jay. Last week on SmackDown, Jimmy gave a controversial excuse for betraying his twin, claiming he feared Jay would become corrupted like Reigns if he became tribal chief. Later that night, Jay took out his former Bloodline teammates and quit WWE. However, many fans criticized the segment for not being convincing enough. Some even voiced their displeasure with the direction the story was going. Speaking on his 83 Weeks podcast, Eric Bischoff addressed if the Bloodline storyline was in trouble. He disclosed that he believes the angle is going downhill. The former Raw general manager then sent a message to Reigns. Yeah, and within a very short period of time, we've reached a downhill slope feeling. Let's just hope I'm optimistic, because WWE has proven and the writing team has proven to me that they know what the hell they're doing. Let's hope they go back to the drawing board, and if they need to include Roman in that conversation to get him re-engaged. Because now is not the time you want to take your foot off the gas, Roman. If your career is coming to an end, if you want to make that big move to Hollywood, if you want to take that next step in your journey professionally, now is not the time that you've been built up to this fever pitch after years and years of effort and success on your part, Roman, he said. The Hall of Famer added, "Yes, I'm talking to you, Roman. We've never had a real conversation, but I'm talking to you now, brother. Now is not the time to take your foot off the gas. If your goal is to end your career in the next 12 or 18 months and move on to Hollywood and join The Rock, commit now more than ever. If that means working more often to keep yourself fresh and to keep the audience engaged, do whatever you have to do. But if Saturday night SummerSlam was an example, phew, I hope it's not. I hope it was just a blip on the radar." Roman Reigns has been holding the Universal Championship for over 1,000 days. Meanwhile, he recently surpassed 500 days as WWE Champion. Over the past few years, he defended his undisputed WWE Universal title against several legends and top superstars, including John Cena, Brock Lesnar, and Cody Rhodes. While no one succeeded in dethroning the tribal chief for nearly 3 years, Conan believes the company should have let Jay win the title at SummerSlam, except if they were waiting for The Rock's return. If you're waiting for The Rock or you know that he's coming, then this was a good move, Reigns retaining. If not, they should have put Jay over. You know, they had a chance with Sami Zayn. Sami is not as hot as he used to be, still hot, and Jay is not gonna be as hot as he used to be. You've had a chance here to pull the trigger, but they haven't. So maybe Rock. Conan said I'm keeping at 100.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me